He's said to be the oldest man alive, as people think that he has between 160 and 170 years. Yet he's still strong. He can walk on his own, he can sit by himself and also share some stories loudly like anyone else. But how is this possible? How would someone have all those years and still be breathing? He breaks the silence and reveals the secret to living a happy, stronger, and a long life. In his early years, he met a woman who then stole his heart, and they have been living together from that day up to now, loving one another. They've been together for more than 100 years, and add that only death will do them apart. We visit this family and they tell us more of their life story. Michael is too old that he cannot even remember the year in which he was born, as during his time no one registered newborn babies. There was nothing like identity cards. One was born and they would make sure they know the season in which he was born, and that was it. That was long time ago, before his country was colonized. No one by then knew how to read and write, being the reason he's one of the oldest people alive. But despite being that old, he can still walk by himself and even sit by himself, which proves how strong he is. During his time, polygamy was common, and that's why he married 4 wives and produced 12 children, though some of his children went on dying earlier. He says that a lot has changed compared to nowadays, as during his time there was nothing like jobs, there was nothing like money, and all they did was barter trade. And the main activities were all about farming, agriculture, and keeping animals. Though everything has changed and the world is all about technology and more, he says he would prefer the old school life where people lived by hunting, fishing, and enjoyed fruit and vegetables from forest, which is totally different to today's world. But time came and Europeans colonized his country, and that's where everything started changing. They introduced money and some job opportunities, and he was hired and given a job of finding and gathering some stones and other rocks, which was the first job he ever did. I later changed and went to do another job, as during that time there was plenty of jobs and people did only jobs they liked, unlike today where one is forced to do something they don't like, all due to money. He says that during that time, the Bukavu city was being built, and it looked nothing like it is today without such big buildings, vehicles, and more. It was in fact just a normal small village. That one is my grandchild. He was born recently in 1993, and he goes by the name Tumaini. He recalls almost everything and says that during the introduction of whites, they were so aggressive and fought against kings and kingdoms. And that's when they killed King Kabulungu. This is his second wife, one of a few people who knows the grandpa more than anyone else here. She says they met long time ago. He came to their home, paid the bride price, and they started living together. From that day up to now, they've been living together happily, sharing whatever they have. They even shared some difficult moments, like when losing their firstborn and other 3 who died. She says they will always love one another as they did since the day they met. She adds they cooperated and always strengthened one another in case of any problem. She continues saying that they are one of the oldest couple here in this region, having lived together for more than 100 years and counting. This is Balutuzeko Daniel Bashizi. He's a grandchild to this oldest man and says they have a big family of more than 110 members, including his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren. He also says that no one knows how old his grandfather is, but according to his own stories, they think that he's around 136 years of age. The grandpa's firstborn died at 96 years of age. The second also died, but his thirdborn is still alive with 81 years of age. He thinks that the secret to having lived a longer life maybe is having eaten meals rich in all food values before industry started manufacturing and adding more chemicals that kill people slowly. As he can't believe how the grandpa looks sharp and stronger than most old men in their late 90s. Daniel says that today he's been thinking of lending his grandfather a helping hand once again. But due to always waking up going to work, he never had enough time. But today he's here and he's going to make a chair where the grandpa will be sitting and relaxing outside. And lucky for them, they don't buy trees. They have to go and cut down any tree and then apply their skills and make anything you want out of it. And to the 33-year-old Daniel, that's not a big deal. This is 67-year-old Victor, a neighbor who always comes here for some advices. He also calls him grandpa despite being old and says it's a sign of respect.
Banamulomba carte d'électeur, banasoma, banaona, alikuwaka, bakamwambia sema iko na donc sa 50. Kwa leo hatujue ni ngapi.
He says that long time ago, he used to hear people saying that the grandpa might be having around 150 years, and that was years ago. If that is true, then he might be having more than that, around 160 or even 170 years, he adds. The grandpa concludes saying that there's no secret to living such a long life and believes that only God is the one who has kept him alive for all these years. And it has nothing to do with physical exercises, taking good meals, resting enough, and more. Thank you for watching. I'm Elijah and this is Afrimax English. Remember to subscribe.